Back here on SportsLine, we switch our attention from training camp practices to now what we're going to see on the field. Thursday night in Baltimore, Titans and Ravens preseason game number 1. We're not going to see a ton of the starters on either team, you would imagine, but you're going to see a lot of young guys, and you're going to see how much work that they've done in training camp carries over and shows up on the field, and who the guys are that look to be the most instinctive, ready football players at this point in time to help them try to make the roster. Here was Mike Vrabel after the Titans' final practice ahead of that preseason opener, talking about what he hopes to see.
Does it feel like the NFL maybe is back to normal? After 2 years of the pandemic and all the protocols, et cetera, and how nice is it to be at this point and being able to focus mostly on football?
Well, I mean, I think we're always concerned about everybody's safety, ours and the health of our families, and I think that hopefully we're past that. We wish we would have had more room for fans. With some of the construction that we have going on, it's been hard. So we're trying to get as many people out here that we can, and and hopefully we can get some of them out when we practice against Tampa Bay and Arizona.
What goes into, Mike, I guess, decision on maybe who needs work in preseason games, who maybe you hold back, and when do you finally make decisions on some guys?
Those are probably determined already. I think you just try to evaluate what's been going on at practice, who's had some of the situations, who's had, first, second down, third work, who third down, 2 minute, who I feel like is, gotten a lot of work in, and there'll be some guys that don't play in the game, and hopefully there'll be a lot of guys that need that opportunity to kind of help themselves, help define roles, and show us that they're ready to help us out.
Will you try to take the bulk of the guys with you, or you can leave a lot behind?
We'll see, how things shake out here in the next couple of days.
Does that balance become more difficult, like with a guy like Farley, who he hasn't played a lot of football, but you want to see him, but you want to protect him at the same time?
It's just trying to get guys ready that I feel like need some of the game action, and whether Caleb's one of those guys, we're still a few days away.
How's Dylan Radin's improved over the last 10 days in this training camp?
Well, he's competing. He's competing, and he understands that he's in there with Nick, and we're trying to give both those guys an opportunity to establish the role that we talked about, and then help develop our team and build our team. And I see him doing a better job at the top of the pocket, where some of these guys counter back in, and he's really focused on that. I think that his knowledge in our system is really expanded, and just need to continue to build and develop, and be a good opportunity to continue to work. And we got a game against a different opponent, so that's always a challenge up front. You've been going against the same guy for quite a while.
What makes the right tackle timetable different than the left guard timetable in terms of switching up first team reps in practice?
Just a decision I make.
Ryan talked about trusting the guys, trusting what he sees in practice more than maybe what he sees in a preseason game from guys Thursday night. How much of it is you want to see the practice field carry over to the game? How much is that?
Would love to. Would love to go out there and see the technique and the fundamentals, and see who's ready to play in a live situation. And hopefully guys get tired and can fight through it, and hopefully there's mistakes that they make that they can fight through, and just kind of see who can play within the flow of the game, and just start to be instinctive when plays start to repeat, which I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll have the same limited menu. Maybe they won't, I don't know, but I'm guessing some plays will repeat. Who can take the information from the beginning of the game, maybe even when they weren't in, to go in there and use that information to help them, and who can go and play special teams and then go and play offense or defense.
Ryan, Mike, what enjoyed getting into the second layer of the offense with as you get further into camp? Where's that gotten cleaner from your standpoint?
Well, I think with some guys it's gotten cleaner. I think with other guys, as the installation has started to mount, there's been a little bit of a slowdown. So That's where we as coaches have to be able to recognize that and make sure that we're just not glossing over things, that we're slowing down again and saying, hey, these are just, whatever mistakes that came up. And, that's why we coach and practice and find ways to walk through. So, with some guys, being able to pick it up, you see them, again, they're not spending as much energy, focusing on what to do and the anxiety level in between snaps, that they're, using all that information and then using all that energy for when the ball's, snapped. And so, we have to be able to there's a lot of stuff that we still are going to put in that we're going to use in the season. Tomorrow will be a critical day for us with the situations.
Mike, through 10 days, what have you seen from Malik, maybe in terms of the demeanor of handling the ups and downs of being a quarterback?
Well, the ups and downs, I think that's great. I think his, his ability to move on to the next play, to be able to process things quickly and understand when it was a mistake, and his, being able to be coached has been great. We just have to continue again, as we move forward here and some of the stuff that we're doing, to be able to handle the operation, making sure that it's clean. We did some of the stuff on the ball today, how important that process is for the quarterback, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of things for us to coach him up on. But his ability to recover from maybe a snap that he wasn't at his best, I think he's done a really nice job.
How much do you evaluate the guys harder this year? And he said that he was. Have you noticed Ryan pushing the guys?
I think his leadership is, something that's been good. I think that's probably intentional. I think he knows when to push guys and when to pull them along, and sometimes, how you have to approach certain guys to get the best out of them. And, if I'm a receiver, that's the most important relationship that we'll have on our football team, is the one with the quarterback and the receiver, because that he's the guy throwing the ball. So wherever he needs them or wants them on a particular route or versus particular coverage, that's where I would be if I wanted to try to get the ball.
How much impact will special teams have Thursday night when you go to, good or bad, when you go to evaluate the guys that are trying to make this roster?
And special teams is a large part of the game. They set the table for what we're trying to do, and offense and defense, and also, we'd like to have some guys that can send messages, with physicality, with speed, with toughness, and although it's an opportunity to change momentum, to create momentum, covering kickoffs, trying to create with a kickoff return or a punt return. So I'm excited to see us, go out there and play and see guys that can return kicks and who can cover kicks, and that'll be a large part of the evaluation.
When you say intentional on Ryan pushing the guys more this year, was that something that you had discussed with him, wanting to see him do, or something that he told you?
I think that's all of us. I think that's between me, Ryan, the offensive staff, Todd. Just taking ownership of this thing and making sure that, give the quarterback an opportunity to correct him or tell him what he wants to tell him, and then, Rob can fill in whatever blanks, or, Todd can fill whatever blanks in with, with Ryan.
What are some of the things you're seeing from Kyle Phillips to? Go ahead.
You expect guys locked in out here every single day, but is there something we said for the phrase gamer? Can you see something from guys in game action that you maybe can't out here?
We think practice is important. I think the ability to come out here and focus and perform in the way that we want to practice, I think is critical and important. I'm not going to say that, we want a whole lot of gamers. We want guys that are prepared and ready to go and that can execute. And maybe some guys, level of play will increase. They'll be a better tackler because we don't tackle much. Or you say, well, I didn't really see that from him in practice. But I don't know about gamer.
Kyle Phillips, what are some of the things you're seeing that has, warranted him getting significant snaps, especially as a rookie?
When he gets open, catches the ball, he knows where to go. Looks like the quarterback trusts him. Whether it's man, I think he does a good job of recognizing whether it's man or zone and how he wants to run his route and being decisive.
How much of your assessment of the receiving room is determined by Ryan's level of trust or his relationship with those guys? Is that something that you heavily factor in when determining who's earning those first team reps out there with him?
Well, I think it's just about production, about who we feel like is improving and who's earned them. I would say that those probably would parallel each other.
Did you envision Tim Kelly working with the tight ends so much when you hired him, or is that something that kind of has evolved?
I mean, I think that that's where, I asked him to kind of concentrate during practice. I mean, and Tim can, be valuable out there helping tight ends, helping young guys, helping the position.
For the guys who likely aren't going to get a ton of reps on Thursday night, their workload, at least on the field, probably diminishes a bit this week. What's your message to them? What do you want to see from them over the next couple of days?
Same thing it is every day. Come in with an intent to learn and focus on the things we talked about that are important with training camp, and just be attentive in meetings and execute whatever it is that we ask them to. That's all we ask every day.
Talking about Caleb Farley, he just mentioned about how I think the word he used was appreciative to be back on the field in an actual game setting for the first time in a while. As a coach and someone who's invested so much in him, how proud are you of the fact that he is out there and what he's done?
Yeah, each and every day. I mean, I think that there's been, you can't play corner in this league without having somebody complete a pass on you. That's not going to be possible, but he just keeps showing up to work, keeps practicing, keeps working the technique, and then shows up in the meetings ready to learn, ready to fix, any mistakes that showed up. So, excited to watch him, go out and play and whoever else is out there.